What's good, y'all? Back again, another episode of Confessions of a Black Scientist. I'm your man's Dr. Dominic Stevens, aka the scientist who lived. And this week, I was inspired by because I was since I'm a postdoc at the University of Texas Austin, and I was in talks with my boss about getting me an undergrad, and it had me thinking about me myself as an undergrad, and I was like, man, I really don't want an undergrad who is a straight A student. And I'm gonna tell you why. So this is for all my peoples out there who think, oh, you need straight A's to be a scientist. You need perfect grades. You gotta be uber smart. And to be honest, that's bullshit. You just gotta work hard, man. Because I know some smart ass motherfuckers who can't apply what they know. They're regurgitators, They can't apply. They can't work with their hands. They can't apply what they know to the actual doing the work. So why I don't personally want someone who's a straight A student is because I personally wasn't one in college. Like in high school, sure, whatever. High school is high school. But in college, I wasn't. But I was still a bomb ass scientist, right? So, and I got this from my very first mentor in science. He told me, he was like, you know what I've come to figure, because he's been in the game for a lot longer than I have. He's not that old, but he's still been in the game a lot longer than. And he was just like, what I found is that my straight A students, they don't do too well in the lab. They just can't they just can't capture what we're trying to do in the lab. They're knowledge based. They know things, but they can't do the things. They can't actually physically do things. But when it comes to my B and C students who I get to come in the lab, because he doesn't discriminate who he brings into a lab, and I love that so much because he could have looked at my grades. Now, granted, I wasn't like a C student, but I was like a BA student around there. But I was definitely not a straight A student. Well, a couple C's, to be honest, a couple C's. So he doesn't discriminate who he brings into his lab, which is amazing, and giving everybody the opportunity. And he was just like, yeah, most of those kids, man, they do a whole lot better in the lab. They come out to be the best scientists I ever have. And I was like, you know what, man? I love that philosophy. There's a lot of things from my first advisor or from my first mentor who that I want to take along with me, that I want to carry with me to my own lab, because he did some amazing things with me. Just him as a person, because a lot of people fuck up. Just having a black scientist in the lab, and I'm going to touch on this later on, especially if you're the first one. But you can do a lot of wrong, you can do a lot of harm, but he did damn near everything right, and he's the reason why I continue to go into science. But that, and honestly, because of that, because I want to be so inclusive, because honestly, your grade point average isn't a determining factor of your intelligence or of your skill set in the lab. Honestly, it could only factor into your fiscal standing. If your parents have money, or if you went to a private institution, or some shit like that. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not bagging on all straight A students, but a lot of them, that's the case, especially in my case, because I didn't come from a great high school that prepared me for college. I did what I could, and I tried to learn on the fly, and that was what I did. But I was great with my hands, and I could think critically. And a lot of people, I want someone who's been through something, because they can think critically about things. And a lot of straight A students have never experienced failure, and that's what I want. Because science, there's a lot of failure, but you can't, you're just like, oh well, it's the end of the world. No, fuck that. Think about it, troubleshoot, fix it, and let's make it work. And that's how you got to go about it. And that's why I do not want a straight A student as an undergrad. Don't get me wrong, I'll take one if they're good, sure. I'm gonna give them more grief than I give someone who was a B, C student. Because guess what? 9 times out of 10, they're going to be a better scientist. Don't quote me. Actually, quote me. Fuck it. I don't care. But listen, that's all the time I got for you guys today. This is why I choose a non-straight A student before I choose a straight A student. But I'll see you guys on another episode of Confessions of a Black Scientist. Peace.